What is going on, guys? I'm Consumer Tech Review, and today I'm going to be doing another experience of my Razer Blade 15. I am not happy with it, and this is my story time with it, all the experiences. This is the second video I've done on this, but you do not need to see the first video to see this one. A recap is I got this thing quite a while ago now, over a year and a half, and in the beginning, for the first about 1 to 2 months, it was not a problem, nothing happened, and then BSODs start coming a lot, blue screens of death. And it was really bad, basically to a point where it was unusable. I edit on this thing, I do video editing and gaming, and this thing would crash during those. I would lose some of the project I would save so consistently because it would crash and I would lose a lot of my data. And it was really, really bad and borderline unusable. I then worked with Razer while I was in college. So I needed this for my actual college work. And that took a long time to get in contact with them. I probably sent 50 emails. Many times it would not go through and nothing would actually happen with it because they have this thing. Razer has this thing where Razer support has 72 hours. So if you don't reply within 72 hours to their email, they just cut it off. And when you're doing like midterms or finals, it's sometimes hard to do that. You get lost in a bunch of emails, and I don't think that's cool at all because the consumer should be first. Consumer Tech Review, obviously. I'm biased to the consumer, which I think it should be. Besides that, I finally got it sent in. They sent it back, and the BSODs continued, but not at the rate that they were. Now, most of you guys will say it was because of Razer Synapse, because I think Hardware Canucks did a video about that. And they were like, it was just the Razer Synapse. However, that's not true because after they fixed the Razer Synapse, after they sent it back, I was still having BSODs, not at the same rate, but I was still having them. And I've had them a little bit more, not quite at the same rate, but that's not all the issues. First, when I got this thing brand new, nothing fit together perfectly. Everything was off. You couldn't just slide your finger down the edge of it. But I was like, it's not that big of a deal. It didn't bother me that much. Even though it's $2,000 on a laptop, you know, if you put your finger down here, it should be like perfectly flush and smooth, but the bottom juts out more than the top. And the sides weren't perfectly matched, but I wasn't like, that's not a huge deal. Now, about 6 to 8 months ago, I stopped using this thing almost completely because I just used my PC and a new laptop just because of the BSODs, and I didn't feel like it was a reliable device, and it really, really did sadden me because it's $2,000. But let's highlight all of the other problems. And yes, there's a ton of problems with Razer's support system. It's a mess. But besides that, just talking about the actual mechanical problems, one of the biggest ones is battery expanding, and like not expanding just a little bit. It's to the point where the entire laptop is bowed. On this side, the bottom plate is actually bowed so much that I can stick my fingernail. Right now, my fingernail is inside of the device. That's how much it's bowed. The trackpad, I know you can't see this on the actual video, but the trackpad here, listen to that. No click. You cannot click it. It is literally bowed above the system. It's supposed to be inlet just a little bit, and they got really nice, satisfying clicks. Actually, the trackpad was unbelievable. It was really, really good. Not quite as good as a MacBook or an XPS, but it was just below those. The trackpad on this side right here is literally above the body. It's not supposed to be like that. Basically, you can't click anymore with the trackpad at all. So that's a big thing for me. I can't click anymore. I'm not really, I touch click a little bit, which you can still do, but you can't click, which I like doing most of the time anyway. So that's really terrible. Besides that, yes, I have cleaned this thing out. The performance has decreased over time. Most machines will do that, but it overheats very, very quickly. And the thermals was one of the bigger reasons why I got this device, because they were so much better than all the other competition, and being a thin and light gaming laptop, and at the time, I think it was the thinnest, it had really good thermal performance. Now the fans kick on like all the time. If I'm doing nothing but like Google Chrome, they kick on and it gets hot if you're doing nothing. And yes, I have cleaned the fans out. It still does this. And do keep in mind, I keep really good care of my stuff. I'm like OCD with what I like. I mean, I'm constantly wiping down my device. I'm constantly never putting it on the carpet, never putting it on blankets, not resting it on a bed. I keep this thing really, really, really well kept. Now, I will say, and it's very strange because the battery expanding only happened when I basically stopped using this for everything but maybe browsing the web, maybe going on Chrome, watching YouTube. Nothing like I stopped gaming on this thing. I stopped editing on this. The battery expanded when I was doing stupid tasks, which means that their design was so bad and so terrible with longevity that it could not last doing very simple tasks. This is a huge design flaw, and they're not looking towards the future, but they're looking at making money now. Whereas you get a MacBook, and people have MacBooks for years on end. And yes, they have like the butterfly keyboard issue. But Apple went back and they replaced everyone's freaking butterfly keyboards. You don't see Razer doing that. Razer is not stepping up to the game and saying, okay, we messed up, let's help you out. Now, I do wanna say this. I made the last video, and within 60 minutes, Razer called me on the phone. I never submitted a claim. I never even told them my phone number. They went through, found my email on my YouTube channel, and then traced it to my account with Razer, and then found my number on the account and called me right after I posted the video. They have never called me before. I have always had to try to get their attention. But as soon as I posted the video, boom, Razer's on the phone. Now, I wanna say, one, thank you for calling me. But secondly, why don't you just do that with everyone? So let me tell you what happened with that. After that happened, I got on the phone with them. At the time when I posted that video, I needed this thing every day because I was still editing on it, even though it was having some issues still. It didn't have the battery bulge at that point, but I was still using it. And actually that's when COVID hit, and I was using this thing to finish up school, I think. Wow, so that was actually about a year ago now. So I could not just send it back. They were like, let's send you a replacement. It's gonna be an open box replacement, which I wasn't too happy about, but it's better than what I had. So I was like, okay, however, I cannot do that right now because I can't have a computer. I can't have no computer for like 2 weeks. It was like during my finals. So I was like, can I wait 2 weeks and then I'll send it back to you and we'll get everything done up and everything will be good. And they were like, sure, just email us back to this email and we'll get everything sorted out after that. So I was like, great. So then I emailed them after the time went by, and they didn't email me back at all. I sent like 3 emails to them. No response. Now, even though they didn't send me another one, it didn't really matter to me because, I mean, yes, I wanted to get my money back, and getting a new laptop, I probably would have just gotten it and sold it and tried to recoup as much money as I could. But the thing is, I don't want all of you guys to be in the same mistake that I got, because the only reason they called me, the only reason they even offered to send me an open box one after my warranty, this was after my warranty. I didn't get an extended warranty. I got the 1 year. This was after my warranty. The only reason they did that is because I was an influencer. That's when I had 10,000 subs. Right now I have 40,000. And I probably could have emailed them and said, hey, I have 40,000 subs. You know, you guys screwed me over with this laptop because you didn't make a good product and it's had a ton of problems. Can you send me a new one? They probably would have been like, absolutely, I'll do it right now. I didn't want to do that because I thought, for the channel, I want to tell you guys, I don't think Razer laptops are well made. They've had a bad track record of not being long-term products. If you just want a laptop for 6 months or a year and then it's done and you just get a new one, then it's fine. But if you want something that's gonna last you 3, 4, 5 years, Razer is not the brand. They do not have good reliability. It's like comparing a Mercedes-Benz to like a Toyota. And I'm a Toyota guy. Now, I do wanna say, I do like Razer products, I just don't like their laptops. In fact, right there is a Razer mouse. I use a Razer mouse every single day, and they're great. They're not overpriced. They're well made. I enjoy their peripherals. I think they do a really good job with them. I think that's what they should stick to. And I think if they're gonna do laptops, they need to have a much bigger engineering team and somebody that's gonna test long-term reliability, and they need to have much better quality control, and they need to have a much better support system. If their support system sucked like it does, but they just had really good products, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. Their products are not engineered well, they don't last, and they do have a bad support system. So if I'm gonna tell you something, there's so many competitors out there, and I know Razer is such a beautiful option because their designs are gorgeous and everything looks like so much better, but trust me, get something more reliable. I will say I've gone through a ton of gaming laptops in the past. One of the most reliable brands that I've ever used was Lenovo. Yes, they don't always have the most beautiful designs and the best quality stuff, but Lenovo has been the most reliable for me. I've known a lot of people that have had Lenovo gaming laptops, and they have had like no issues. So if you guys are interested in reliability, absolutely no issues. Lenovo is a fantastic brand. I would say Razer is like probably one of the worst out there. I do wanna say I am not just bashing Razer. This is not anyone really at Razer's fault. It's just the whole system of how they do this. I'm sure there's a lot of people that work at Razer that wish they could make better laptops that they take a little bit more time with. but they haven't been doing it this long. You look at these other companies and they've been doing it a lot longer than Razer has. So I don't want to say just never buy from Razer. I think their peripherals are great. I would say if you have a lot of money and you don't care if your laptop breaks, then buy a Razer. And that's only for people that are like, okay, I can buy this really nice laptop, and if it breaks, so what? I get 3-6 months of a really nice laptop. But especially if you guys are like buying your first laptop, or you're in college and you don't have a ton of money, but you need a nice laptop, do not get one of these. It is not reliable enough. You cannot count on it. And yes, that is just my experience, and a lot of people are gonna fight me and say that you're wrong. That is only my experience that I've had, and as a tech reviewer, I've used a lot of laptops. I've used a ton. And I do want to say, all laptops have problems. That is except the Lenovo. That one had literally no issues the entire time I had it. But every single laptop that I've had, which is a lot at this point, and used as a daily driver, not like other tech YouTubers, like they get it, they review it, they send it back. They don't actually get to understand the longevity of these products, which is a shame. But they pretty much cannot do that because they're not using it as their daily driver. But every single laptop I've had has issues. It's a lot harder to do something that is reliable inside of this little case than it is like putting it in a PC. That's much more reliable. So I do understand that all laptops are gonna have problems at some point that you're gonna have to work out. It's just that this one had so many really, really big issues that did not get worked out seamlessly. But guys, I really hope this video helped you out, and I really hope it saved you some money. The last video, bunch of people commented that they've had similar issues or that they've had other worse issues. And then other people commented that I saved them, you know, a bunch of money. And that was the point of this. I am not benefiting from this at all. I mean, unless you subscribe, then I'm like, thank you, please do it. But I'm just doing this because when I got this laptop, I didn't have money, like barely any. In fact, I used my graduation money to buy this laptop because I wanted to be a filmmaker in college. I was actually gonna do real estate videography, and when all this stuff started happening, it really hurt me because I didn't have money. And I remember how hurt I was. I remember how stressed I was because this was like my powerhouse that I could use to like do my dreams. And this channel did start because of this laptop. And it was me working with BSODs and crashing and having to re-edit stuff. I'm not saying this to make any of you guys mad because I know Razer has a really loyal fan base, and I think for their peripherals they should because they do a really good job, but for the laptops, I don't think so. But you can dislike and be as angry as you want at me. That's completely okay. It still helps the video progress because of the algorithm, so good. I don't know if you guys know that. Disliking actually helps the creator because it just increases engagement. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I typically do like keyboard reviews, a bunch of other reviews like that. So please consider subscribing below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and helped you out. How many times am I gonna say that? This is Consumer Tech Review, and I'll see you guys later.